The first thing that you got to understand is it starts with a choosing process, right? Like when you get rolling with a chick. The mistake that guys will make is they will have very little experience. The first girl that touches their pee-pee, they're going to want to marry or get into a long-term relationship with. And that's not the way to do things. This is how you get wrecked, right? You don't have experience. You don't know what women respond to. You don't know good from bad. You don't know how to spot red flags. These are all the basics. I'm assuming most of you have gotten past the basics. You've read the Unplugged Alpha. I mean, even if you haven't, you can get the free chapter on the red flags. I'll put it up on the screen below. Just go to entrepreneursandcars.com/red-flags, get on the email list, and you can download the free chapter on the red flags. The basic vetting stuff. Very, very important beyond that is you're going to choose a woman that chooses you. You shouldn't be doing the choosing for the relationship. You shouldn't be the one that goes, hey, where do we stand? Where is this going? I really like you. You know, are you seeing anybody else? That's a dork move. That's what guys with very limited options or no options do when it comes to getting involved with a woman on a long-term basis is they don't have any options. It's the one girl that they're dealing with or talking to, and she's probably entertaining other options if we're being honest, and then they corner her one day and say, hey, you know, like, what are we? And I've said this many times before, and nerds of the internet will always say the same thing. They'll protest and say, no, it's the man's job to ask for the relationship. No, the man should be saying, you know, where do we stand? Shut up. My show, I do the talking, pay attention and listen, and you're going to come out of this with some knowledge, okay? You don't ask for the relationship. Why would you ask for the relationship if you have options? You won't. A woman's going to corner you and ask you what's going on, where do we stand, where is this going? That's what you do. If it comes within the first 3 months, that's a bit too early. It should come within about 3 to 6 months. Beyond 6 months, a little bit too late. You know, in that range is generally the sweet spot. She's seen you enough. She's seen your lifestyle. She knows what you do for a living, what kind of bank you make. She knows stuff about you, what time you get up, what time you go to sleep, what your hobbies are. She's met probably or seen a few of your friends, at least on social media, maybe even met them in real life. She knows that you're captivating, you're an interesting guy. So she's now saying, hey, where do we stand? You know, I really like this guy, Rich, and I want to know where it's going. And are we exclusive? Well, you know, what's happening here, sort of thing. Again, you're choosing a woman that chooses you. You always only ever want to choose a chick that's chosen you. How do you know she's chosen you? Because she asks you for the commitment. She asks you for the relationship. She asks you to go beyond dating, right? Make sense? Good. Here's the thing, though. You have to be higher value than her. That's very important. You have to be higher value than her. She has to look up to you. She's not gonna see you as her hypergamous best if she's looking at you. She has to look up to you. She wants to be with a giant. I've said this many, many times. She wants to be with a guy that's of a higher caliber than her, not of the same caliber, and also not of a lower caliber. Women will again protest and say, but Rich, you're wrong. My husband stays at home and raises the kids, and I climb the corporate ladder and make $200,000 a year. Fine. Congratulations. Some women do put themselves in that scenario. They're generally not happy, or they're generally not that attractive, and it's something they kind of had to resign themselves to or lower their standards to. Okay, but it is the exception rather than the rule. Exceptions don't disprove the rule. You want to be higher value than her. So everything here below that I'm going to talk about, the main points that I've made, all fall under the category, it's very simple, of being attractive and not being unattractive. If you're attractive to a woman and you are also staying away from things that make you unattractive, it's a lot easier to maintain genuine burning desire. I'm not going to define GBD. I'm going to use the acronym during the show to sort of speed it up a little bit. Defining GBD is unnecessary. It's a chapter in the book. The book is less than like 15, 16 bucks. Just get the damn book on Amazon, the Unplugged Alpha. Once you've read it and you've got your value out of it, leave a review on Amazon, let other men know what you got out of it, and pass the book on to a friend. Be attractive, don't be unattractive. So, what motivates a gal to stay with a guy? Interesting question. What motivates women to stay with a guy? One of the main things that keeps a girl glued to a guy, it's kind of stupid, but I'm going to say it. It's providing future value. This goes back to Briffault's law, right? So Robert Briffault was here, let me pull up his Wikipedia page because I want to make sure I get the definition correct for all the critics. So Robert Briffault was a French surgeon. Here he is. Social anthropologist, novelist, blah, blah, blah. He was a geek that studied behavior. And in the animal kingdom, he defined it, this corollary, which was called, Briffault's law. And it says the female, not the male, determines the female, not the male, determines the animal conditions, the conditions of the animal family. Where the female can derive no benefit from association with the male, no association takes place. Simple, straightforward, and easily understood. All that means is that doesn't matter how many nice things you've done for her, how many trips you've taken her on, how many meals you've paid for. The food that was in her stomach that you fed her with last night is now in the toilet today. She has forgotten about it. It is just a reality of female behavior, female nature. It's it's a feature, not a bug. Let's put it that way. If women weren't receiving future benefits from a man, why would she have stayed with that man 1,000 years ago? If he's unable to feed her, to protect her, to give her children, to raise the children, to provide value to the children, that she has with him, why would she stay with him? So you have to understand one of the basics when it comes to attraction and keeping her around on a long-term basis is there has to be future benefit to her. And you can't lean on your past laurels. It can't be like, oh, I took you on this trip or I took you on that trip. Remember that restaurant I took you to 2 months ago? She's forgotten. It doesn't matter. And there's no point in even bringing it up. None whatsoever. It's the future value that keeps women around. Your consistent ability to deliver what a man is supposed to deliver, okay, as it's expected in a relationship. We're not going to do what's expected out of women on this show. That we'll save that for another time. We're talking about, again, maintaining GBD in a long-term relationship or a marriage, because these are difficult things for men. Marriage especially is hostile. You take on the risk of a marriage in a Western world, and shit can get very difficult for you. Woman can alienate you from your kids. She can use them as a bargaining chip to get more money out of you. There's alimony, there's child support. All of these things are very expensive. There's the division of assets, the matrimonial home, and all these things. And quite often, because women are hypergamous, they marry up. They're going to the more successful, wealthier, richer, more influential guy, and his stuff goes to her if she wants to untie the knot. So if you want to have a family and children and all that sort of great stuff that guys often ask me about, pay attention. Okay, you have to be able to provide future benefit. Briffault's law, you can look it up, read the Wikipedia page if that confuses you. Let's move on. You have to be on a purpose. You have to be doing something with your life. There's nothing that turns off women more than a guy that just sort of goes with the flow. A guy that just does whatever, he's always done and doesn't look for any kind of improvement. Simple example. You're a corporate guy. You work at big name company, Fortune 500 business, blah, blah, blah. Are you getting promoted? Are you getting raises every year? She's looking for that. If you're not, that's going to start to disappoint her, believe it or not. If you're not maintaining bare minimum and growing, then you're heading in the wrong direction. Head in the right direction, upwards and onwards. Being on a purpose. Are you putting a little dent in the universe, a big dent, any dent in the universe? Are you doing something of some significance in your life that matters, that she can be proud of, that she can tell her friends about, that when it comes up, it's known? Like, nothing's better than your reputation preceding you. Richard Cooper. Girl is with Richard Cooper. Her friends find out about Richard Cooper. That's interesting. He's got these and other things. They start Googling your name, all the companies he's run, the awards he's received. You see what I'm saying? You have to be on some kind of a grind. You have to be on some kind of a purpose. Doesn't matter what it is, what line of work you're in, what you do. Even if you're the greeter at Walmart, next year you need to move up to the senior greeter at Walmart. You catch what I'm saying? Do you understand the drift? Being on some kind of a purpose, going upwards and onwards. Understanding what women respond to. This is all things that I've covered many, many times. Again, stuff that's in my book, that's in many of my other podcasts and discussions that I've had. I am not going to go and define everything to specifics, but understanding and acting accordingly to what women respond positively to. Let's give you an example. You have a bad day at work and your boss is being a total asshole. What are you going to do? Are you going to go home and bitch to your wife that things aren't going well, that he's creating constraints, he's asking you to run reports that he never looks at, blah, 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 and whinge and fill her ear with bullshit for the next 25 minutes? Or do you shut the fuck up and keep it to yourself and chop it up with your boys and ask for feedback from your board of advisors, like, your solid inner circle? You understand what I'm saying? Women respond positively to a man that just gets it, that can solve problems. She doesn't want to deal with your problems. I've said this before. Women don't care about your struggles. They hang out at the finish line and they pick the winners. Be the winner. Be on that path towards winning. Always, as much as possible in life, win. I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full-length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here. And pinned down below in the top comment, you'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.